all a little tired this morning. As Dave said, the team plane that flew us back from Brooklyn had some delays, so we didn't get back to campus until about 4 a.m. this morning. But that ride home with the players and coaches is something that I'll never forget. And including, this is an inside joke, but ladies and gentlemen, the Gormley brothers kept us entertained on that whole ride. You can see I'm wearing my special all-access super deluxe pin from the championship tournament in Brooklyn. I am not about to give up that feeling of euphoria yet, folks. I'm hanging with it. People said to me before, as we were moving forward in the tournament, is this a fluke? Is this some kind of accident? And I said, no, these guys are champions, and they are champions, folks. It was no surprise to me at all. It was such a magical day yesterday, a great day for Duquesne men's basketball, for the entire Duquesne University family, and none of that obviously would have been possible without the man at the helm here, who we're really here to celebrate today, Coach Keith Dambrot. I was texting all day yesterday with Norm Nixon, most of you know, great Duquesne basketball great, and then LA Lakers professional basketball great. He's on the West Coast, and he was saying, man, this team, that coach, he is really something. Well, am I sad that Keith is retiring? Sure. Mainly because he's a couple years younger than me, and it doesn't seem fair. I still view myself as a young guy, Keith. So, but we have had discussions about this over the past few months, obviously. We were eager to have Keith doing what he does so beautifully as long as he wanted to. But we also respected the fact that he and his wife, Donna, had to make decisions because of Donna's health issues, and we are so grateful that our prayers have been answered and that she's doing so well in her challenges with breast cancer, Keith. But this was ultimately a decision about family, both Keith's family that makes up his beautiful and now growing Dambrot household, but also the family that he has built with this team and with these players that he cares about so much. And we can't go any further without asking these players to stand so we can properly recognize them for their just incredible job. Ladies and gentlemen, the 18th champion of the Duquesne Dukes, ladies and gentlemen. There's a saying in politics, get out while you're on top, get out while they love you, and Keith is certainly doing that. Most people love him. But this is also the day that we can say that he accomplished the shining goal that he set out to accomplish when he left that secure job at Akron and came to Duquesne, which was a risk on his part to continue the legacy that his dad, Sid, had built as a star player and a true devotee of Duquesne basketball. And I think it's okay, I think you've mentioned this before, Keith, but his dad, Sid, wanted to be buried in his Duquesne sweater, and he was. That's how much he cared about this program. When we hired Keith in 2017, I can tell you, I was involved with that with Dave and with the board members. It was not primarily a business transaction. It never was. All along it was about having a common dream and a goal. And Dave Harper has been an essential part of that dream and goal to elevate Duquesne's basketball programs, both men's and women's basketball programs, to the highest level that reflects this special university itself. Keith has always viewed this, as I've watched him, as a calling more than a job. Yesterday on that court in Brooklyn, as all these guys, the players, swarmed around Keith with confetti falling, and there were plenty of tears being shed, even among this tough group of all of us, I saw, it was just so emotional for me because I saw that Keith's dream was actually happening. So I understand why he chose this moment to make his decision. Alums and friends of this university, I can tell you from the first day I stood in this power center and was selected as president in 2015, people would say, when are we going to return to the glory days of Duquesne basketball? You've all heard it. Well, folks, these are the new glory days of Duquesne basketball. Keith Dambrot has brought us to that place almost single-handedly, but I say almost because Dave Harper really has been a co-visionary who has made this happen. I think he doesn't like to be singled out, but we better have a round of applause for him. As Keith said, there have been lots of alums when people were doubting not just him, but our program, who stepped up and they made an emphatic commitment to it, including in paying for that beautiful new UPMC Cooper Fieldhouse facility. I can tell you that in a very concrete way, that facility that you see right down the road here was an emphatic vote of confidence in Coach Keith Dambrot. That's how it happened. There's also a whole team of athletic department supporters, many of you here. You've been tireless in working with Keith to support this quest. And the players who I am so proud of, I tell you guys this all the time, but you are such wonderful ambassadors of this institution. And that isn't true. And even in Brooklyn, I saw some things that I said, thank God, that's not how we behave. And you guys always reflect so beautifully on the institution, even as fearsome competitors you are. You have hearts of gold, you care about each other, and that is all we ever wanted of this program. You, I know, have wanted the A-10 championship, not just for, the glory and the ring and all that, but I know you guys have wanted that for Keith as much as yourselves, and you've all been an engine of this success. And of course, Donna has been a rock. I honestly don't know how she's put up with you all these years, Keith, but she has been an anchor for Keith. And to see the outpouring of love for Donna on that bus yesterday on the way to the airport was just such a beautiful thing by the players. You guys are just so special. Keith was truly born to be a leader of the Duquesne Dukes. As you see and have seen, he's a little guy. He's a wiry guy. His dad was Sid was a 6-foot guard, so he got this from his mom. But he is tough, tenacious, and he has willed himself and this team to national prominence and excellence. And there are more thrills and exciting games ahead. Keith is not done, I can tell you that for sure. After spending about 10 hours at the watch party and at the hotel and on the bus with these players and the coaches and everything, these players are not anywhere near being done. So yes, there is a new glory days of Duquesne men's basketball, and it is the Dambrot era. And there will be a new and exciting era after that, I promise you, because Keith has been building this like a meticulous, and he is a meticulous guy, a meticulous architect. And what does the Dambrot era of Duquesne basketball stand for? In my view, it's this, and I've reflected on this a lot in the last weeks. With all of the challenges in college athletics that Keith referred to today, with controversies over NIL, the transfer portal, lawsuits, everything else that makes, really complicated to engage in this for coaches and others, it proves that you do not have to be awash in money to be a great college basketball team. Yes, you have to invest, you have to be committed, but it's almost as much in the people and the student athletes, these folks here, and the relationships as much as anything else. If you have a defined, clear strategy as an institution and remain tethered to who you are, and if you, like these guys have done and like Keith has done over the past days, outwork everyone else, you can still be a phenomenal basketball program. In fact, you can be champions, which we now are, thanks to Keith. He's never been an employee for me as far as I've been concerned. He's been a friend, kind of almost a philosopher, the strategic thinking guy who saw promise in this team that meant so much to his dad, and he delivered on that plan and his promises of success to us, which I knew, incidentally, I always knew would be the case because of his character and his qualities as one of the finest, most professional people I have ever encountered. So it's the Dambrot era, folks, and I'm okay with the fact that Keith is taking on a new role in that era. You don't know what you're going to be doing, Keith. I know what you're going to be doing. You're going to be in those court seats right along, jumping up and down, yelling at the refs. That's what you're likely to be doing as you watch your successor roll out new dreams and possibilities for this program. So for now, let me just say, Keith, you're the greatest. We love you. It's going to be sad to see you take this next step, my friend. But for now, get the hell out there and get to work. We have some big games to win, starting against the game against BYU in Omaha on Thursday. With all of these guys, go Dukes!